here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about the markets. Global liquidity is on the rise, and so will be Bitcoin very, very shortly. And altcoins are going to break out and follow very, very likely if a certain pattern is confirmed. But all of that we will see in the charts in this stream. And we are also going to see what is new and bullish for NFTs, for our Veve collectibles maybe, but also for NFTs in general, where people are saying that this run is not going to come back, where I will show you that it very likely is going to come back and go into a second cycle for the NFTs. So make sure to stay all the way through for all this information. So, good morning to each and every one of you. We didn't have Crypto Morning Coffee for a couple of days. It's a very slow day, but it is Wednesday. I think it is Wednesday. I have been traveling, came back yesterday at 1 a.m. in the night or something like that, and got a couple of hours of sleep only, and then decided to wake myself up, which my body did not like at all. But Crypto Morning Coffee has to happen, right? And I'm also always excited, so waking up for Crypto Morning Coffee is definitely easier than for Hamster Wheel or whatever. But yeah, so we have a lot to talk about today. But first of all, I want to see who is here, and also took me 3 seconds to take to bring on the camera, because while I was doing that, I looked at Blazer Haze Everyday's comment there and had to jiggle a little bit. Blazer Haze said Kraftfahrzeug Haftpflichtversicherung, and hopefully wanted me just to say some random extreme German word. For everyone who is not German, that basically means mandatory insurance for your vehicle, for your engine powered vehicle, basically. But yeah, thanks for that. That is something. After that, you're definitely awake. But today, I think even that doesn't do it, so I have to take a coffee. But let's see, also Jasper Frank is here. What's going on? Trucking Hank is here. Good morning to you. I hope you are fine over there in Canada. And then G-Flow says, PH, what do you think about OMI hitting 10 cents? Possible? Everything's possible. Possible, yes. Likely? Not yet. I would say the likelihood is very low for OMI hitting 10 cents. This cycle, just because of what we're seeing right now. Obviously, fundamentals can change, but at the moment, I would say if the old tokenomic system and everything was still in place, then maybe, but now it's a little bit. It's Thursday, right? Okay, see, that happens when you It's Thursday. Listen, if you lose the day, it's generally only two reasons. Either you are a student at university, that's when you lose the days, because students, they're like, you ask students, what time is it? And they're like, I think it's January. Or if you're extensively, like if you're overworked and traveling, that's the other reason. And 2 days feel like one because you did sleep so few moments. That's the other reason, right? But yeah, anyways. Also, Wes is here. What's going on, man? And Jonas is also here. Good morning, with 2 coffee cups. I see I'm not the only one who needs a little bit more coffee today. But with that, let's jump right into our charts. Let's see what's going on. We're coming relatively close to the moment where I said, or we said here on the channel, that the pump should be starting, right? And so far, so good. Bitcoin is in the bull flag now to the upper end. The likelihood of us breaking the bull flag to the upside has increased. Also, our parabolic move here, this yellow line, right? This is the parabola. We're there. We should be coiling up at some point. And we are actually doing it. So I'm kind of surprised how this gets rejected exactly there, because this is more or less randomly drawn in. Or not rejected but bounced. But more importantly is that we break this range for Bitcoin, right? Because that would put us in a real uptrend, higher high confirmation trajectory, and would also bring back probably some sentiment here. The other option is obviously that we are getting rejected bigger. We are going to liquidate some longs and so on, right? That would be a possibility, but it all comes down. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have heard it so many times, like it's all baked in the charts. Like even the biggest black swans that are happening from one day to another are baked in the charts. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, just because I've seen it so many times, like a beautiful pattern playing out, which was baked in the charts. And then it just comes all back and just does something completely different. But the charts tell a story overall in conditions where there is no black swan, right? And this story is we needed to cool off after a massive run for ETFs. We have done that, and now we're ready to go based on certain factors, which are mostly global liquidity as a driver, right? We are going to look at this. I got the global liquidity chart formula back thanks to someone from X. So we are going to be able to compare global liquidity to Bitcoin in the stream. And it comes all down to that. So now, what do we have as big events? So if you're looking at your trading view, you can look this up for yourselves. You get the economic data in that is happening next. So in about 8 hours, something like that, we're going to, so this is 3:20 p.m. for CET. So if you're living at the east coast of the US, it's somewhere in the morning, I guess. So yeah, this is very early. So we're going to get apparently a Fed Powell speech today. So again, 3:20 p.m. CET. And before that, an hour or so before that, we get durable goods orders month over month and the GDP growth rate quarter over quarter final result, which both will tell us the state of the economy, or at least hint. And then Powell will say some bullish or bearish things. And I think that this will decide whether we get rejected here or whether we are going to attempt on these last days of the week to break out here. So I would say if Powell says something that sounds more like soft landing, we're getting more rate cuts, but soft landing overall in the cards, inflation is coming down, blah, 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 then I think we're good to go here with 66K next, right? I think that is really what is going to decide things. Overall, that means, first of all, if we would do such a thing, we would get a 4% move out of Bitcoin, which is nothing compared to what happens when we are breaking. Remember, if you are among the realm of traders and not just hodlers, remember to wait for confirmation, right? Because if we come up here and we break, we can do what we did here, here, and here, and just fall back in, and we can take a full another move for the next couple of months, right? It is possible that we just fake out here, get everyone trapped, and come back. So wait for confirmation, which would be come out here, retest and go, all right? Because then, yes, you missed these couple of percent, but here's your entry, right? And I'm not saying that because, oh my God, I'm the biggest trader. I'm just saying that because I saw this many, many times. And my personal strategy to avoid this kind of thing is I just buy and take the macro trade. And the macro trade for me is next breakout, move in the direction of 80K, and then we'll reassess the charts, right? But so far, so good. We are in the charts right now, and we can also assess the macro here a little bit. Ignore the yellow text, it's just some wild predictions for me. But I want to look at you. I don't want to look at you. I want to look at the stochastic RSI here and show you something which is quite interesting on the weekly. And that is bullish cross is confirmed. I think we talked about this in the last week. So remember that we had basically two bullish crosses here and here, right? But these bullish crosses, they really kind of happened, at level. So basically, you want to have these bullish crosses go after bullishly crossing, go over 20, which in both cases happened. So we had fake outs here. Now, I would say, given that this bullish cross happened a little bit higher and that we are with both lines on a massive divergence, this is a high likelihood that this is confirmed. And that means the momentum is to go very likely to the upside on a weekly basis. So the next move should be upon us, right? Also, if you're not taking the stochastic RSI as a basis, but the RSI, we are now at a level, I think we have also talked about this on the stream, on videos, we are now at a level where we technically have a breakout, right? So remember this, we talked about this couple of days in the video. It's a little bit difficult to put this on the weekly, but you get the idea, right? So it's a relatively clear breakout now. So you have this RSI trend line over 200 days long. Let's actually measure how long this is. If you go really from the peak to the to this part, it's 189 days. So actually almost 200 days, right? And you have this massive breakout now. And now we really want to confirm this. So the next weekly close is upon us. And I think that will be sufficient as confirmation. But it already seems right now, I mean, Bitcoin would have to crash a lot to come back under this and to poise a fake out, right? It's not like this little blip up here, but it's actually a kind of significant breakout. So I would say we are good here, but we should still wait for confirmation. Now, this breakout, usually when RSI trends are broken, that means that means there is a reversal coming, right? So for example, you have this RSI trend down here, right? And then once it finally was broken, exactly here, you see this? You have all this move, like look at this move. Even though we were at the end of the market, this was 121% move. Imagine what altcoins did at this point in time, right? So another one would be this here, right? You have this downtrend here, and here is the moment that it's broken, right? Here's the breakout plus confirmation, and voila, the bottom was in, and it led to our move that we had right now. So if you go from where it broke to here 354% move to the next all-time high. So it's not insignificant, and it's happening right now, just on a little bit higher level than in the bear market, because in the bull markets you want to be at around, you want to be above 40, right? So that is a sign that good things are coming. Pump very likely to come, even if we have a pullback a little bit in the next week or so. It's kind of looking like we are getting our October, right? So you remember, you have the cross on the RSI. We are looking at a bull cross on the TSI on the weekly. Also, it's not yet there, right? But also look at the previous bull cross that happened here, and it basically also confirmed this move, 177%, right? So the TSI bull cross, the TSI is good on higher time frames. It's not so good on lower time frames. So I really like it on the monthly, obviously, because it has never been wrong on the monthly. And here, it's kind of lagging though, right? So you need other factors. But I like the TSI, first of all, because no one except me apparently looks at it. And secondly, I think it's quite good, like quite quality signal. So speaking of which, the TSI here, we see it's the lines are coming together. If we would get this big move to the upside now in the next couple of days and weeks, it would be very good, right, for us now, because then we would have it broaden. If we cross, it would be the end of the beginning of the bear market. It would be basically the end of the bull market, right? So we don't want to see that just yet. But if it's there, it's there. We will acknowledge and confirm. But you have to see, this is nothing that in the next days just comes down. This line, we still have 4 days until the monthly close. Whatever move to the upside will increase this line. So we really need to wait for monthly closes, and there would be other months to really confirm a bull and bear cross. So you also see that the lines are really coming close here to confirm a bull market, but they never confirmed. They just moved sideways here, and then they confirmed the bull market. The same thing can happen here, that we are coming fairly close together and then go again. So we really need to be patient on this node. What we would ultimately like to see is something that could happen. We see it on the weekly. We might be seeing it on the monthly stochastic RSI, but it's not there yet. That this blue line basically comes back on a pump, and we get a bull cross on the monthly, right? And come back up and get our second momentum, just as we did here around the halving. Actually, here there was a fake out. Also, there needs some time for confirmation. But just as we did it here in the previous bull run, right? So there could be this final phase also being confirmed in this chart. And once it does, I will show you and tell you. So by the way, guys, I don't ask it many times because mostly I forgot. But please, if you enjoy this analysis on this early morning, for Crypto Morning Coffee, then please let me know by smashing up the like button. It's very important for YouTube, stream, whatever, to get these likes, and it doesn't cost you anything. So please just go ahead, smash the like button, and while you do, I will continue with this analysis. So ultimately, I mean, we are green here. So for everyone who's driving cannot look, we are at 609, sorry. We are slightly green on the month, on the week and month. We are at the verge of a breakout of this massive cup and handle pattern. If we were to break out and confirm, which can take weeks, right? But considering our RSI breakout, I would say that it is more likely than not going to happen. Then our breakout target is from this cup and handle. Let's actually show this again, because this is on the non-logarithmic, right? This is your move. Actually, yeah, this is your move, right? So if we were to break out in the next days, your target is about 120K. And you know that I like to put the target just under psychological barrier. So if this would really happen, we would expect a move that is likely our bull market top at around 120K. Now, if it's really then coming to a bull market top or not, we are going to assess in the other indicators, not right now. It's just my speculation that probably the indicators will flash end of bull market once this move happens. But obviously we're going to look at a couple of things before, and I can already tell you what that is. First of all, we're going to look at the RSI. If RSI is at around 90 or close to 90. Secondly, we're looking at the TSI if it hits this trend line and gets rejected at this trend line. Third, we are going to look if our momentum of the stochastic RSI is in absolute overbought, overextension territory and likely to come down. Then we're going to look at the pi cycle indicator if it marks a top, right? And that doesn't mean that we are not taking massive profits before off the board. And then we're also going to look at global liquidity and Bitcoin dominance if what we've seen in these indicators is making sense, right? So all of that we're going to stick and put together. Maybe we're looking at some more, maybe like MACD, cross, whatever, but usually that should be enough to get a good educated guess whether we are at the top or not. But first of all, let's just have the breakout. Let's just have the this nice bull market in front of us and look what's happening. Jasper asks, after top, what do you think BTC will fall to? I mean, usually, if you're looking at logarithmic chart, right, it's easier to see. Usually, what happens is that the bear market is coming back to, at least since here, closer to the previous all-time high, right? But it really, I wouldn't like to, I don't like to, so here you see this, right? So the previous all-time high was here 20K, and then we came back to 15K, right? So I would expect that if we rally off to close to 200K, for example, that we come back to 70K-ish, around where this previous all-time high was in the bear market. But it all depends on how high we go, because ultimately I would like to rather make an educated guess on, let's say it's 180K, and then I go with a 75% drawdown on that and see what that would be as a number. So that would probably more or less fit, right? Because if you say, okay, here's my top at 180K, let's just say, or 170K, let's just say that tops out at 170K. And I go down 60%, I'm at 68K. That's very logical, that's very in line, right? Also with diminishing returns would be diminishing reductions, right? If that was the case, right? So if we would have a 70% drawdown, we would maybe wick into the 50K range, right? Now, is that realistic? Yeah, it should be realistic, because here your all-time high was about 20K and Bitcoin came down to 15,500, right? So that would be one thing. Now, if we were to get an absolutely exuberant, exaggerated Bitcoin price in this bull market of 500,000, for example, just because, right? Then I would reassess and say, okay, maybe the bottom will be then at, I don't know, 100K or so. So it's really very difficult to speculate this before we even had our last leg of the bull market. So that's something that I want to see first. Now, we will see this later in the chart. China is considering, it's not actually considering, they are doing it. Injecting up to 1 trillion yuan, which would be 150 billion US dollars of capital into its biggest banks. Now, the problem with this is, the good thing with this is it's global liquidity expansion, which benefits the Bitcoin price. The negative side of this is the last time China injected capital into big banks was during the financial crisis in 2008. So it basically means the banks in China need a bailout. Now, obviously, we saw that in the last crises, we saw this bailout happening very quickly. So maybe they're even printing away now the crisis before it even hits. So that is definitely a possibility. The other side is, what if we don't get the big October this time because of the elections being in November? It's definitely a likely scenario, because you see here like this flat sideways movement until the elections, and then after election and election certainty, the price goes up. I already said, it matters who wins short term. It doesn't matter who wins long term, because no matter who the president is, you will not go. No president can come and go around global liquidity expansion and hitting the market with the next financial bazooka, just because the $35 trillion US debt have to be refinanced in any way. There's no way around it. No president will sit there and go on default on the credit, right? And then also remember this. We talked about this on this channel a couple of weeks ago, or months ago actually, when all these exchanges were starting to repay people in Bitcoin. Now, here is your other liquidity, and it goes directly to crypto people. 16 billion US dollars will be returned to creditors in the starting from next week, which means that you get a $16 billion liquidity stimulus, so to say. It's like a stimulus to crypto degens, right? It's next week. Now, why do I say this? It's because the people that lost money there, they were crypto people, and they probably were in altcoins. So you can expect that these 16 billion will hit the entire crypto market, because everyone who gets money back and sees that Bitcoin is sideways and altcoins are down will very likely go with this unexpected money return and just ape it back into crypto to make returns, right? At least that's, be honest. At least that's what you would do, right? What I would do. Yeah, not financial advice, of course, but everyone of you who was on FTX and gets something back, congratulations. You will get some US dollars, USDT or whatever to ape back into crypto. Overall, FTX or not, it doesn't really matter, because the big game is played here. Now, I promised you in the beginning of the stream, or somewhere at the stream, that we're going to look at global liquidity. And now look at this function. So again, for those that asked, this is basically a sum up of the global money supply of the biggest countries, right? It's not including like Tuvalu and French Guyana and whatever, because that ultimately on a broader scale, it doesn't really matter, right? But you have like European EU, Japanese EU, USD, China, whatever, like this, all this function, right? So here you have from this function a global liquidity expansion to 91.12 trillion. And yeah, hey Green Lantern, what's going on? Present, let's hope Powell doesn't frag us today. I don't think so, because why would he? So the point is that his decision should lead to the markets going well, right? It's in his best interest. Now, they made a decision of the rate cut, and they now will tell us some nice and beautiful stories how everything is going well. And hopefully the market likes that. But overall, I mean, we are already seeing that all around the world, liquidity is being pumped into the markets. And the cool thing is, it's like global liquidity is front running what's going to happen with Bitcoin. And we're also going to see this in gold in a second as well, as gold is reacting to this expansion, and Bitcoin is not yet, right? I mean, it's a little bit, but it's not yet. So here you have this bull flag that we're looking at all the time, and here you have the global liquidity expansion. Now, look at what happened when global liquidity came back and had the turnaround. See this here? Here is the turnaround of global liquidity. You are already up big time. What happens in Bitcoin? Final dump. And then bear market sideways. And here is your expansion. But at this point, you're already here in global liquidity, right? So all of this move came after, when global liquidity goes sideways and gets wrecked again. And then we consolidate, right? So you see this, how global liquidity is front running Bitcoin. Yeah. So most of the time, at least. So on a broader scale also, you can really see that, and this is why I say forget about halving, forget about 4-year cycles and so on. It doesn't matter, because if they suppress global liquidity, and they won't, but if they would suppress global liquidity, you just would have a longer bear market, right? But forget about all of that stuff and just look at global liquidity. Now you have it here, for example, right? You see this little, for example, this little blip, and then this sideways in global liquidity, and how Bitcoin goes sideways, and then global liquidity starts moving, and then it takes long. Like here, for example, in this global liquidity, you still have your black swan, but it doesn't really matter. Even the black swan didn't really matter, because global liquidity was already going, like breaking out and on the go, just as we have it here, right? Now this pullback, such a pullback, that could be devastating for Bitcoin, right? But we don't really see it here. We don't see a pullback. Maybe it's just go time, right? So and let's just measure how long from this, when global liquidity really was moving, how long it took here for Bitcoin to go in parabolic. 350 days, almost a year, right? So now we are not at this, but from that global liquidity breakout, or at least from that move that we have, we are now 60 days only, right? Only 60 days since global liquidity breakout. So that doesn't mean that every time it takes so long to react, right? It doesn't mean that at all. Because this, like, you have this black swan, whatever, in there, but it definitely can happen, because also if you look at here, global liquidity breakout here, where you can kind of see the same. I have to move this over this. You can't even really see it because Bitcoin was too young, so we don't have too much reference there, but we can try and expand Bitcoin here. Also here, and now we see it. Okay. Also here we see that basically when global liquidity breaks out, bear market is over. But here we have an immediate reaction, right? We have an immediate reaction of Bitcoin because it was so small that it reacted instantly to it. And then we have this massive parabolic run. So the only thing that you can say for sure is if global liquidity goes up, at some point Bitcoin poises this massive run, right? This is since the inception of Bitcoin, this is a given, right? This is something that always happens, I would say. So we see it here, our global liquidity, and we see it in all of these charts that once it expands, it's go time for Bitcoin. It just takes a while. And if it takes 3 months or so, okay, fine, right? Everyone will say, oh, then it's the bear market has started and I don't know what, right? If we get this pullback and whatnot. But overall, we see it here, 91 trillions added to the thing. Yo, Trucking Inc. with almost with 699 Canadian dollars. Thanks for the great analysis as always. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the donation. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I'm really glad to have you guys here. So if it brings you value, I'm happy. Also, Bitcoin dominance, as expected, this is a zone where we could get reaction, and actually we will see if this falls just back in, because right now, I mean, I have it on my thumbnail, the altcoins, they are moving, so that pressures the Bitcoin dominance, or vice versa. I mean, it's like a chicken and egg, right? Altcoins are moving, hence Bitcoin dominance is going down. Bitcoin dominance is going down, hence altcoins are moving. It's kind of a chicken and egg. Why? Because if you take money out of Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance goes down. If you put it in altcoins, Bitcoin dominance goes down even more. And that's usually the cycle flow, right? By the way, you remember the crypto money flow chart that we showed? The phase 1 to phase 2 is usually when Ethereum, or in that case maybe also Solana, outperforms, and we kind of saw this already, but I really want to saw this when it's really gaining in dominance, and that's just not the case at the moment. So I think phase 2 is coming fairly soon. Yeah, right now we see this breakout that we had here was actually a fake out. You see this? So it's coming back. Maybe we are exactly getting, if we get what we drew in months ago here with this thing, I'm going to call us the crypto oracle. If we get this trajectory just as we drew it in, it's going to be wild, right? It's going to be wild. Then I will have to do it like other YouTubers and search for the clip, and then like big pat on my own shoulder and back. But so far so good. What we want to see is Bitcoin rallies hard, altcoins rally so hard that this Bitcoin dominance just hovering along like we drew it in here, and then it finally collapses and altcoins do another 10x on top of their 10x, and everyone here is a millionaire, right? So this obviously, depending on how much you have in crypto, not everyone can afford to put that much into crypto, no problem at all. That means that only means that in the next cycle, whatever you did, like, don't overextend too much. I think that we have a nice chance at our hands right now. Once it pumps, we are going to take massive profits, and then in the next cycle we take whatever we got out of this market, if it's 10,000 or 100,000 or $1 million, and we're just going to multiply it all again, right? So don't fret, the chance is coming back. Now ultimately DXY, we are at a decisive point, whether it's go time or not. Maybe Powell will send the DXY under support finally. This is a massive, strong support as we have almost never seen it before. This support is so strong that once we break it, it will send Bitcoin on a massive rally. Once it breaks, we will know on this channel, and then hopefully we are going to see the DXY collapse to this level, because Bitcoin, DXY, and in general crypto and DXY, they're inversely correlated, and it's a very beautiful correlation here. Once you see this drop off in the DXY, you're good to go. And then when we visit this bottom line here, then this is where massive profits should already be out. Massive profits should already be taken, and yeah, it's going to be beautiful. Okay, so on the other side, what's more important is that the US Tether dominance is going to fall as well, and we're very close. We're very close, right? If you look at once again the BTC, it's just so beautiful. It's just oh, sorry. I have to get rid of this quickly. I need to do this, and then I do this. There you go. So you see it here. It's like a mirror, and we want this mirror to mirror a little bit more, right? So first of all, rising channel. More likely than not to break to the downside. 68% chance to break to the downside for all rising channels. USDT happens to be in rising channel dominance. USDT dominance meaning how much people are in USDT. They are allocating, hence Bitcoin is going up, you know where they are allocating to. We want this to break, because this break means mirror to the upside, right? That's the signal that we are waiting for. And we don't have it just yet. And it, this is moving slower than any grandma on like the safety strip on the road, right? But it's coming. It's going there, right? So it's like this Harry Potter scene where where they are driving this super flat bus and they have to stop for the grandma. Yeah, that's it. We are waiting, but once the grandma crosses, then it's go time, right? So this could look like this, and then boom, right? This is what we want to see, and this is a problem. It's not always going as we want, but I'm confident that at some point, in some way, it's going to happen. Maybe it's today, maybe Powell will send us, maybe something else will send us, maybe some countries are pulling out financial bazooka earlier and add some trillions on top of this global liquidity. Ultimately, on top of global liquidity, the US has to add many trillions to be able to continue, and so are other countries. Now, quick one for gold. Gold doesn't stop, and we really want to have a breather on gold. Something like this, because then this is where people take profit and roll it into more risky assets, right? And just like here, which was basically this rally, and then actually Bitcoin moved together with this Bitcoin USD. I'm always doing it wrong. There you go. Bitcoin USD. Get rid of this. Have this. Okay. So, not that. Give me a second here. Again, whenever gold is breaking away from Bitcoin, it takes only a while. You see it here. Breaks away. It takes only a while until Bitcoin, which is a pink chart, follows gold. Okay? I've explained this a lot in many or in some streams. You break away, Bitcoin follows. Now, here you see gold broke away, Bitcoin went the other direction. It's time for this to catch up, right? So at some point, like here, gold moves, Bitcoin moves, right? Gold moves, Bitcoin moves more, right? Gold moves, Bitcoin move, right? It should be like this. If it's not, it would be really weird, because that would mean that the market prioritizes gold over Bitcoin in general. Now, what's really bullish about this, let me tell you something more really, really bullish, is that gold added $3 trillion to their market cap, because a move like this, like 15% on gold, you have to see that gold was already at this point at 14 trillion. Now it's at over 17 trillion. It's going to 18 trillion. You know what that would do to Bitcoin if we only got the same amount of on top? It would 3x Bitcoin. No, it would 4x Bitcoin, right? It's adding $3 trillion to Bitcoin, it would full send Bitcoin. We only need some of the same people that are buying gold to allocate a percentage to Bitcoin, because they say, okay, so now I have the gold stack, let's do some more like finite global adoption, whatever, ETF, let's put some money in there, right? Double, like 1 trillion to Bitcoin means double Bitcoin, right? Means 120k target. So is that so unrealistic if 3 trillion just got allocated to gold? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't really say so. I would say it's very realistic to at least get 1 trillion on top of Bitcoin, right? And if Bitcoin 2x's, Solana and Ethereum very likely 3x's, because of, like, it depends on how much more Vitalik wants to screw it up. But Solana will very likely then 4 to 5x, which is a realistic target in my opinion, which means like the bigger ones like Chainlink and so on, they are probably going to, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe 10x, right? And the V chains are going to 10x, 12x, I don't know, right? Going to 20 cents or so for the V chains. But then after the top 50, you're more likely looking at the 20x, right? And then you're outside the top 200, you're looking at 30, 40, 50x's, right? So all of that is just trillions. How many trillions can we get? But gold going in the direction of 20 trillion means also long term Bitcoin is going to go in the direction of 20 trillion, because Bitcoin is the better gold, and the world will understand at some point, because it's just this increase in gold, let me tell you this, will lead to one thing. All the gold miners in the world will recalculate their profit margins for gold, and suddenly it's worth looking for more gold in the soil. Whereas you have a mathematical finite function for mining in Bitcoin, and that's not given for gold. The moment that gold goes to, let's just assume that gold goes to 26,000, does a 10x, right? There will be people in this world that will calculate what it takes to find an asteroid and do some deep space asteroid mining. At some point it will be worth it, and we know there's gold on other planets and asteroids. They will find more. But no matter how far you go in the universe, no Bitcoin to be found anywhere, right? Unless you take a ledger and shoot it to the moon, then you'll find some Bitcoin on the moon. But other than, and then it will still not extend the coins, right? Anyways, let's talk about this, what was on the thumbnail, because it's very important to see what's going on here. So altcoins have just broken out of this channel. And this is no joke, because I mean, we have a retest on top. This is daily closes. On the daily, we have a retest and a continuation. So we have a breakout 2 days ago, we have a retest yesterday, and we have a go until today. Obviously, we want to see this continue and not fall back in here to fake out on a weekly basis. But so far, so good. We have a daily confirmed breakout for altcoins. Not too shabby. And that's also why you'll see the altcoins in the green. Now, are the altcoins front running Bitcoin? Bitcoin's move, anticipating. Is everyone like, oh, this is the last chance? I mean, we have just seen 34% average out of the altcoins. If we were to break, look at the small falling channel, you see what happened after. If we would to break, we would go back here, right? This would be the trajectory. If we broke, so very likely we're going to back to challenge this and then go beyond. It's time for altcoins. But what's interesting about this is, let me show you something. This is all that I can tell you about this. There's a breakout happening, and it is confirmed on the daily. So whatever altcoin you're looking at, for example, let's take like this altcoin. Let's see, OFN. On KuCoin, Open Fabric AI. You see this here? This is an altcoin finding its bottom after this correction. This is the falling channel that we just saw, right? So, and this was not so great because it was just launched and it did very well and it broke out, found its top, printed a lower high and went into a mini bear market, so to say, right? So I got wrecked on this altcoin, except that I took some chips off the table here. So initial investment was taken out, I was good, right? But no matter what, I still think that project like this can do well. But what I want to show you is, on the daily, what you want to see is, you want to see such a move, like taking out a previous high. Ultimately, it would be great if it then can subsequently take out something like this to really see a reversal, right? You want to have this come down on this top, retest, and go more, which is likely with the overall breakout of altcoins, right? But you want to see this in your project, which brings me to Ecomi in a second. But you want to see this in a project. So this is already good, right? All the projects moving, taking out previous highs, nice. I really like it. And also it's a strong move. One thing, if you look around Twitter and everywhere, you see bear market has started, the consolidation is too long, this bull flag isn't a bull flag, it's too long, blah, blah, blah. Everyone is bearish, right? You don't see this in bear markets. Not across the board. You just don't see this in bear markets. In bear markets, it's like every move that Bitcoin makes is altcoin is going lower and lower and lower, right? Like here, you see this. This is what happens in bear markets. It's just a small, but not this. Not this strength of a move. You just don't see this, which is, I mean, you could argue you saw this here, and yes, this could turn out to that, but you see it on a broader scale in all of the altcoins, and that's different to a bear market, in my opinion, right? So I would say that is that. What do you think of Definity and Bumper? I think it doesn't matter. I think Definity is probably cool. It's probably going to do multiples of X's like all the other, or almost all other altcoins. I think it has shown some strength, and Bumper, I think it's a nice play. All of them are low caps, and having some allocation in that is not wrong at all. You can do multiple X's, but these projects also can go under, right? Always be aware of that. It can be that they go under at any time, team abandons, and so on. I don't know enough about Definity. I know that both projects are part of CryptoRain's community and what they are liking at the moment. What is really, so let's look at this chart. What's really not great, but so let's talk about such an altcoin, what's great and what's not great. It's not about OFN in general, but more about altcoins. So what's not great is that you have a lower low, right, technically. But it got released here, so you really have little history. What is great though is you have lower lows here and higher lows on the RSI. So basically you have divergence here and you're poised to go up. This is great. Can you look at bread? Sure. Let me look at bread. Let's see where there's a good chart like OKX. That's not much of a chart, I would say. Bybit maybe. That looks like more. Yeah, that looks like more history. Bread on Bybit. Yeah, I think you are. I think this is let's see. This is difficult. Okay, so you had this. Why did this go back to drawing? I wanted to put a line. Oh, okay, a line here. So let's just argue you had this, right? Yeah, you could argue it's already broken out, yeah, of a falling channel kind of structure, right? If you want to interpret it like this. You could argue that you just had your breakout and retest here. Definitely you want to see some kind of a reversal that looks like this. Yeah, something like this. But I would say breakout looks good. Looks already good. If we were to move for the entire market, then everything will pump. So I like to look more at everything. AVAX, let's do one more. Oh yeah, AVAX. Yeah, AVAX has a really good pattern. So basically what AVAX had was this, right? So you have this and then the breakout of such a massive bear market downtrend. What I really like about AVAX is the same as Chainlink, so it's kind of a double bottom situation here, right? you broke out, you confirmed this as support, came back. Now you have a double bottom situation again, which is just about to break out. So I really like this. This looks like Chainlink as well. Chainlink does the same. But here, look at this. So this is now, if you were to really want to confirm this, you kind of have this, something like this, where you have this, you want to have this broken out, right? I mean, actually, you can argue that this is part of the structure here, and then you have your breakout at the moment. Yeah, that looks, let me see the candle bodies. Yeah, that looks like some confluence here. So if you put it on these candle bodies, you also see that this is the support that was here before. You came down, you tested, now you are above. Now you want to see the continuation, right? The follow up and take out this. This needs to happen. Take out this, right? But yeah. What about Aerodrome Finance? Can you give me the ticker? Also, if your comment gets deleted, it sometimes happens, right? Your comment gets deleted if you put too many tickers. I will have to move on in a second, but let's look at these two. Aerodrome USDT on Polynex. It's super small. It seems there's not much. Let's look. Probably there's going to be more. Yeah, it's the same. Like you see this in a lot of coins. It's the same. It's almost the same. Look at that. So definitely you have something going on. I'm doing it really quickly. I would have to look at more at this, but you have something like this here. It's not super clean, but you have kind of the same situation where it's not out since a long time, but you have this, like it's more like a reversal pattern here. You want to see this broken and taken out, and then you're good to go, like confirmation or so. But yeah, Aerodrome looks fine to me. Also, you had this again, like this downtrend. It's broken here, yeah, here, right? So you see this here, how it tested here, and then here, retest, go, right? Now it forms a bigger reversal pattern. You don't want to get rejected here, yeah. I would wait for that, but anyways, it looks fine. Casper. Casper. Let's go on a higher time frame. Yeah, I mean this is Casper's beast. Casper's a beast. Look at this. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, it looks like global liquidity. Like where you have some kind of this ascending triangle structure going on. It's just waiting for go time. Here, yeah, something like this. I mean, in my opinion, it's bullish. It's just not broken out yet, but I think it will come. If we get, it's like this. You can look at everything, like Ponky and Trump and Sui and whatever. You can look at everything. Let's do Sui. You can Sui USD here. You can look at everything. Like Sui is a beast. Sui already broke out, but you see it has the same. It has the same situation that we told before. Like you see this pattern everywhere. Sorry, yeah. You see this type of pattern everywhere. In the grand scheme of things, you want to have Sui to go to new all-time highs. But listen, everyone's talking about Sui. It has already pumped 260% again. So maybe don't FOMO into Sui now, I would say, because look, your RSI is oversold, right? It's time for it's probably getting rejected here at some point, or it goes into longer consolidation. I would wait for a cool off there, but yeah, some bearish divergence, yeah. So we will see. We will see. I wouldn't go too much into this. Like, I would really look at macro, and then you're good that the altcoins are going. And also, I think I am personally better in looking at macro. And sometimes you have to acknowledge what you're better with, right? You're sometimes better with some things than others, and I think I'm better with the macro than with like the individual coin, TA, whatever. But as LK already saw it, yeah. Overbought, not oversold. Yeah, did I say oversold? Overbought, yeah, massively overbought. That's what I meant. You see this like RSI. I would wait for a cool off. I think it's not good to chase pumps like this with overbought. And if you get more indicators like stochastic and so on, you will also see even maybe a momentum shift and so on. So I would really say it's better to look at what is in general happen, because some altcoins they pump earlier, some they pump later. But if you just go and something like others and you look at what's happening there on a broader scheme of things, then you can say, okay, I have breakout, I have retest, it's go time. Once it moves, probably the market in general is going to move at once, right? Now, quickly for OMI, and this is really something that boggles my mind, because OMI is one of the coins that, it just doesn't go. And I told it many times, I'm not going to buy this anytime soon, as long as I don't see strength. And I don't see strength. I don't see anything. I only see the price going down, so I don't want to buy this anymore. It looked good here. We didn't have a confirmed breakout, so I didn't buy there. It was the correct decision to not buy anything in here. Now we're down here, right? So we are waiting for whales to make their move. We're waiting for a breakout, for structure, for indicators, and for news, for fundamentals, right? So also for Ecomi, there's not really any signs of life at the moment, right? So we're just patiently waiting for something to happen, right? So, and this is a problem for me personally, because while other coins are doing this and at least show a sign of life, nothing for Ecomi, right? Ecomi is exactly like Wes says, Ecomi is performing horribly. ADA just broke 0.39, congratulations. Now, I want to show you two more things. First of all, NFTs. People say NFTs are not coming back. Here is a good reason why things for NFTs are looking bullish. So we have the Mr. Torres here. And listen to this. He is roasting Gary. It's only 2 minutes. But here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Gensler, suppose I were to sell you a Yankee ticket and tell you that the Yankee ticket could appreciate in value and could be resold at a profit in the secondary market. And as is the case with all sports tickets, suppose the proceeds from the sale of the Yankee ticket goes toward paying for the Yankee game. By selling you the Yankee ticket, am I entering into an investment contract with you and therefore conducting an unregistered security offering?
I appreciate the question. I don't know all the facts and circumstances, but I don't think so. I know where we're headed here, Representative, but I don't think so in that yet.
He is like, I know I get wrecked right now. He's really like, he's going to try to avoid everything, but he knows that I know where this is going. Yeah, it's going in the direction that you have to make the difference between an NFT that gives you access to something and the Yankees ticket that gives you access to something, right? And the Yankees tickets as a ticket stub probably being worth something in the future, despite the access that it's giving you. That's exactly what an NFT would be. So, for example, let's say the partner statue gives you access to Disneyland. If they would rule like this, like we're seeing it here, that would be absolutely possible without it being an NFT, without it being a security.
So a Yankee ticket is not, and why is the Yankee ticket not a security?
Well, it's really a question, and the courts have been clear on this, is the offer and sale.
Specifically with a Yankee ticket, though, when you're buying a Yankee ticket, what are you purchasing?
You're buying...
access to a Yankee game, is that fair to say?
I understand. It's been a while since I went to a Yankee game, but that's...
Look at this! Look at this guy. It's like you're asked a question, and it's been a while since I was to a Yankee team game. Who cares? It's not about the team. Take your favorite Gensler team, whatever. I don't care, right? But this is the worst way of avoiding a question. It triggers me so much. I'm going on mute and play the rest of the video.
I used to live in New York, and my three daughters were all born in New York.
So in the Stoner Cats case, the creators were selling an NFT that offered access to an animated web series. From the standpoint of federal securities law, is there a legal difference between buying a Yankee ticket that offers you the experience of a Yankee game and buying an NFT that offers you the experience of an animated web series?
Again, I don't want to comment on any one specific
well, it was a settlement. It's a fait accompli. It's not an ongoing litigation. You can comment on it.
But it's about how is something offered and sold, and is it offered and sold as an investment contract? Or are individuals looking to a common enterprise anticipating profits based on the efforts?
Well, I'm familiar with the definition. You're avoiding the question.
Okay, so I think this was great. Great line of questioning. He obviously should have let Gensler talk a little bit more so that he says maybe something meaningful. But in the end, it is exactly as he says. Ticket stub or take Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards or whatever. It's a way, and as Gensler says, in the end, the court ruling will be whether it is something offered as an investment contract or not, right? And if you're looking at like all this stuff where Veve is supposedly worried or whatever, look at your own NFT project. This is very good that this is being questioned and investigated is very good for NFTs on a broad spectrum, because most of the NFTs are being offered with an access to something, right? So there are some court rulings where it is really a security. It's like when there's actual return promise. So for example, you take this NFT and then we're doing profits and we're airdropping Ethereum or something to it. That's the definition of getting paid dividends, and there you have an investment contract. But if you have digital collectibles, and it's like, oh, you can buy these digital collectibles and play with them in AR, VR, and then you can, maybe they will go up in value. I mean, remember, it could be like for buying the first Marvel comics, something like that David, you said. That's not an investment contract, an offering of investment contract. That's like offering Pokemon cards, right? So I would say it's not out of the possibility that something like this will actually make people bullish on most NFTs, except maybe NFTs that are really like paying dividends or so via airdrops, right? Yeah. Oh, this is crazy. 64 people are watching and we only have 26 likes. So guys, if you could, please go out of the full screen, smash the like, because I think it's worth leaving the like here. So please help me out with that. It's very important for us, content creators, to get these likes. It doesn't cost you anything. Takes only a couple of seconds out of your time. So please, if we could get the 64 likes, it would be really, really great. While we're doing that, I show you one more thing. This is Meta's iPhone moment, basically. And it's also bullish in general for something like AR collectibles. I'm not saying that Veve collectibles will be available on these glasses, but overall, look at this.
A plane or wherever you are, and you need to be able to see through them. And people need to be able to see through them too and make eye contact with you. Right? This isn't pass-through. This is the physical world with holograms overlaid on it. So if someone messages you, you will see that. And instead of having to pull out your phone, there will just be a little hologram, and with a few subtle gestures, you can reply without getting pulled away from the moment. Or if you want to be with someone who is far away, they're going to be able to teleport as a hologram into your living room, as if they're right there with you. You're going to be able to tap your fingers and bring up a game of cards or chess or holographic ping pong or whatever it is that you want to do together. You can work or play or whatever. Building this display is different from every other screen that you have ever used. And that is because it is not actually a screen. It is a completely new kind of display architecture with these tiny projectors in the arms of the glasses that shoot light into waveguides that have nanoscale 3D structures etched into the lenses so they can diffract light and put holograms at different depths and sizes into the world in front of you. And all of that is directed by custom silicon and sensors that we designed and powered by a battery that fits in the arm of the glasses. It is an absolutely incredible amount of technology to be able to miniaturize and fit into a pair of glasses and a small puck that goes with it to help power the whole thing.
This is the key point. We didn't see them yet here, but here you kind of get the idea. These are glasses. I mean, they still look like the glasses of Stephen Hawking or some of these guys where it's like bottoms of glass bottles on your nose, right? But it's glasses. It's not these trap goggles anymore. It's glass. Apparently, it took them 10 years to build this, or they invested in it. So they're looking at it for. But this is great because it will take a little bit away this you are closed out of reality and all this dystopian fantasies. So having like glasses that actually manage to do this, I think we're still far away from it, but having glasses that can display like the way that they do 3D images, holographic, whatever, you maybe can stream that into your glasses or so. I think that's the step that you really want, right? For stuff. Also for stuff like Veve collectibles and so on. I'm not saying that Veve is going to pull this off, but at least this is something that benefits the overall trend, right? He's going on for a long whatever. Like this video, you find it on Twitter. Here's the goggles again, right? So that is all this like iPhone presentation style, but this would be a huge step forward if this works with 3D NFTs, whatever, with blockchain gaming, it would just enhance the potential and the masses that you can reach with it. The price point will be probably absolutely high. We will see, but overall, yeah. So I wanted to show you this only because I mean, ultimately we have all the stuff here on Veve, like this diorama and stuff like that. Right, like the Star Wars diorama, which I think looks great. So imagine you can experience stuff like that in your living room via the goggles. I think this is cool. This is great, like for all the Star Wars nerds and so on. That stuff like that is coming out. I'm not going to go into detail because actually I have to jump. But I think overall, like you see on the legislation side, things are moving. Gensler gets grilled. We see that not everything is a security. Ultimately, there is some institutional adoption. There will be institutional adoption also for some kind of NFTs. And we see stuff like this benefiting overall the trend where it's going. And I think together with what we have seen and global liquidity and the move of the crypto market, also NFTs will come back probably somewhere in 2025. So let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. If you watch this later, please don't forget to leave the like. We had over 60 people here. That's, by the way, a new record for this crypto morning coffee stream. And I would say that also shows that the bull market is still on, is back on. So guys, I will leave it with this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming by. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on. Smash the like button, and wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. Enjoy your coffees and